Breaking alert from Pacific Ocean, Chinese ballistic missile submarine, 200 miles off California, nuclear weapons aboard, strategic patrol, first time this close, this is happening now. It's 9:47 a.m. Pacific Time, 200 miles west of San Francisco International Waters. U.S. Navy Sound Surveillance System detects contact, SOSUS network, underwater hydrophones spanning Pacific Ocean, listening constantly, detecting submarines, tracking threats, then alarm, distinctive acoustic signature, Chinese Type 094 Jin-class SSBN, ballistic missile submarine, strategic nuclear platform, and it's close, dangerously close, historically close, unprecedented close, to American mainland, to California coast, to major cities, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, all within range, all targeted, all threatened, by Chinese submarine, by nuclear missiles, by strategic deterrent, except now it's not deterrent, now it's provocation, now it's threat, now it's crisis. Navy alert monitoring this strategic emergency developing, real-time coverage, breaking updates, nuclear submarine near America, Chinese strategic patrol, Pacific crisis escalating. At 9:52 a.m., U.S. Navy responds, USS Asheville, SSN 758. Los Angeles class attack submarine already on patrol, nearest asset. Ordered intercept, maximum quiet speed, silent running, tracking Chinese boat, shadow mission, intelligence collection, capability demonstration, message delivery. You're not invisible. We see you, we track you, we can kill you, if ordered, if necessary. If war comes, deterrence through presence, capability through proximity, message through shadow, professional submarine warfare, silent service excellence, American superiority, demonstrated daily, proven constantly, including now, including here, including against Chinese SSBN. Should Chinese submarines patrol near America? Comment Y or N. Type 094 submarine carries 12 JL-3 ballistic missiles, each missile 3 warheads, multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles, MIR-Vs, 36 nuclear warheads total, each warhead 300 kilotons. Hiroshima was 15 kilotons, math simple. One Chinese submarine can destroy 36 American cities, can kill 50 million Americans, can end American civilization, maybe, probably. If launched, if targeted, if war. That's deterrence theory. That's mutual assured destruction. That's strategic stability, worked for decades since Cold War, since Soviet Union, since Cuban Missile Crisis, but now China, now peer competitor, now third nuclear power, with submarines, with mobility, with second strike capability, game changed, balance shifted, threat multiplied, because Soviet submarines patrolled Pacific during Cold War, but that was then. Threat known. Procedures established, crisis managed. Now China, new player, different culture, unknown doctrine, uncertain threshold. Where's red line? When do they launch? What provokes strike? Questions unanswered, concerns mounting, intelligence insufficient, understanding incomplete. But submarine real, threat present, warheads armed, ready. Always, constantly. That's strategic submarine mission. That's SSBN purpose. That's nuclear deterrence. Mutual threat. Mutual vulnerability. Mutual restraint. Usually, hopefully, prayerfully. Hit like if you support U.S. Navy submarine force. Chinese SSBN continues patrol, making 6 knots. Very quiet speed, diesel-electric supplement, air-independent propulsion, modern quieting technology, not Soviet rust bucket, not Cold War relic, modern submarine, advanced capability, Chinese innovation, stolen technology probably, cyber espionage certainly, but effective regardless, quieter than expected, harder to track, dangerous capability, American submarines still superior, but margin narrowing, gap closing, Chinese improving, rapidly, consistently, concerning, intelligence community watching, Pentagon worried, Admiral planning, submarine force adapting, because Chinese submarine force growing, 59 boats currently, 70 projected 2030, more SSBNs coming, more patrols expected, more close approaches inevitable. This is new normal. This is great power competition. This is Pacific reality. China challenging America in American waters, off American coast, near American cities, unprecedented, unacceptable, unavoidable, because international waters, because freedom of navigation, because same law America uses, near China, near Russia, near Iran, now China using, near America, near California, near everything. Turnabout is fair play, legally anyway, strategically concerning, politically inflammatory, but legal. Undeniably, unavoidably, frustratingly. How many warheads can Type 094 submarine carry? A. 12 warheads. B. 36 warheads. C. 48 warheads? At 10:34 a.m., P-8 Poseidon Maritime Patrol aircraft arrives overhead. Flying search pattern, dropping sonobuoys, active and passive acoustic sensors, building sound picture, triangulating position, refining track, confirming identity. Type 094 acoustic signature matches database, propeller noise, machinery sounds, hull vibrations, everything cataloged, everything recorded, everything analyzed. Chinese submarine confirmed, Los Angeles targeted, San Francisco threatened, California at risk. Not immediately, not directly, but potentially, eventually. If war, if crisis, if miscalculation, that's deterrence reality, that's nuclear strategy, that's Cold War logic, extended, updated, modernized for 21st century, for Chinese threat, for Pacific theater, San Francisco now Moscow, Los Angeles now Leningrad, California now Soviet Union, except China, except now, except real. Not hypothetical, not theoretical, not Cold War history, present danger, current threat, today's reality, Pacific Ocean, international waters, but 200 miles close, very close, too close, for comfort, for safety, for peace of mind. Navy alert sources confirm this is escalation. Previous Chinese SSBN patrols stayed distant, 1,000 miles, 1,500 miles, mid-Pacific, safe distance, comfortable separation. Deterrence maintained, provocation avoided, but now closer, 200 miles. Why? Message sending, capability demonstrating, America probing, testing response, measuring reaction, intelligence gathering on American procedures, on Navy response, on political reaction, everything observed, everything recorded, everything analyzed by Beijing, by Xi Jinping, by Central Military Commission, deciding future, planning strategy, preparing war, maybe, possibly, hopefully not, but preparing nonetheless, as America prepares, as submarines shadow, as procedures practice, both sides ready, both sides capable, both sides terrified of miscalculation, of accident, of war, nuclear war, civilization ending, species threatening, existence questioning, that kind of war. Nobody wants. Everybody prepares for. Both sides deterring, both sides threatening, both sides hoping never happens, but ready if does. That's Cold War logic, that's nuclear strategy, that's mutual assured destruction, extended from Russia, applied to China, multiplied by uncertainty, because Moscow understood, Washington knew, decades of crisis, centuries of practice, China is new, Xi is unknown, thresholds uncertain, red lines unclear, escalation unpredictable, everything dangerous, everything risky, everything terrifying, but playing game anyway, because alternative is surrender. Alternative is Chinese dominance. Alternative is American decline, unacceptable, intolerable, impossible. So submarines patrol both sides, both navies, both nations, mutual surveillance, reciprocal deterrence, continuous tension. Until what? Until war, until peace, until one side quits. Nobody quits. Both persist, forever probably. This is great power competition. This is nuclear age. This is human insanity, threatening extinction, risking everything. For what? For Taiwan? For hegemony? For pride? Questions philosophers ask, questions strategists ignore, questions submariners don't consider, because orders are orders. Mission is mission. Deterrence is deterrence. Execute, always, without question, without hesitation, without conscience. That's nuclear strategy, that's strategic submarine, that's civilization stake, betting everything, every time. Every patrol, every crisis, hope works, pray succeeds, assume rationality, usually correct, sometimes wrong, then everyone dies. But probably not today, probably not this crisis, probably continue muddling through, as always, as history shows, as hope demands. Is this Chinese provocation or routine patrol? Comment yes or no. USS Asheville maintains contact. Shadow mission continuing. Every movement tracked, every turn recorded, every depth change noted. Intelligence goldmine, learning Chinese procedures, understanding SSBN operations, discovering weaknesses, identifying patterns, everything valuable, everything archived, everything studied for future war, for possible conflict, for potential Armageddon. Hope never comes, prepare if does, military logic, strategic wisdom, professional responsibility. Submariners train decades for war lasting minutes, for launch sequence never practiced, for consequences unimaginable. They train anyway. They prepare constantly. They ready always. Because someone must, because deterrence requires, because civilization depends on them, on submarines, on professional warriors, managing Armageddon, deterring extinction, preventing war, through threatening war, through promising destruction, through guaranteeing mutual death. Insane logic, Cold War legacy, nuclear age reality, but working, so far, decades successful, maybe forever, probably not, but trying anyway, because alternative is surrender, alternative is vulnerability, alternative is weakness, inviting attack, encouraging war, ensuring destruction, better strong, better dangerous, better mutually destructive than weak, than vulnerable, than tempting. That's deterrence logic, that's strategic thinking, that's nuclear philosophy, insane but effective, terrifying but successful, risky but necessary, unfortunately. If you want breaking naval news, type Navy alert below. At 11:47 a.m., additional P-8 arrives, second patrol aircraft, relief for first, continuous coverage, persistent surveillance, until submarine leaves, until patrol ends, until threat withdraws, could be days, could be weeks. Chinese SSBN on strategic patrol, months long, endurance limited only by food, reactor runs decades, air recycled infinitely, water distilled continuously. Only food matters, determines patrol length, crew endurance, mission duration. Type 094 probably has 60 days supplies, 2 months patrol, most spent transit, to patrol area, back to base, maybe 20 days on station. Off California, near America, threatening cities, this patrol just starting. Day 1 probably, day 2 maybe, 58 days remaining, potentially. If full patrol, if complete mission, if nothing changes, but things change, always. Situations evolve, crises develop, maybe Chinese recall, maybe Americans pressure, maybe something happens. Taiwan crisis, South China Sea incident, diplomatic breakthrough, economic deal, anything possible, everything uncertain. But submarine here now, today, this moment. That's reality. That's threat, that's concern. For California, for Navy, for America, for world, because Chinese submarine near America, nuclear weapons close, strategic deterrence intimate, uncomfortable, dangerous, scary but legal, frustratingly, unavoidably, completely. Political reaction intense. California governor briefed, senators informed, representatives notified. Chinese nuclear submarine off our coast? How close? What threat? Questions urgent, answers classified, can't tell public, can't reveal capability, can't expose methods, but politicians demanding. Public deserves no. Constituents need information. Transparency required, democracy demands. National security forbids. Tension constant, compromise necessary. Statement issued. Chinese submarine detected international waters off California coast. U.S. Navy monitoring closely. No immediate threat. Situation under control. Truth technically. Lies functionally. 200 miles seems far until realize nuclear missile covers distance in minutes, until understand warhead destroys city, until calculate casualties millions, then 200 miles seems close, very close, terrifyingly close. But statement says safe, statement says controlled, statement says monitoring, public reassured, partially, temporarily, superficially, but questions remain. Concerns persist, fear gnaws rightfully, because nuclear submarine near major city, regardless distance, regardless legality, regardless anything, threat is threat, weapon is weapon, death is death, potential anyway, possible anyway. That's enough, that's concerning, that's terrifying. How will this patrol end? Comment your prediction. Media covers extensively. CNN headline, Chinese nuclear sub off California coast. Fox, red threat, Chinese missiles near America. MSNBC, nuclear submarine crisis develops Pacific. Everyone reporting, everyone analyzing, everyone speculating. Experts interviewed, admirals retired, professors tenured, politicians ambitious, everyone talking, few knowing, but everyone certain. Confidence inversely proportional to knowledge, media reality, information age, social media amplifies, Twitter exploding, Reddit theorizing, Facebook panicking, everyone expert, everyone analyst, everyone strategist, few correct, most wrong, all confident, democracy complicated, information warfare difficult, truth contested, narrative matters, whoever tells story better wins public opinion, China trying, America countering, both sides spinning, both sides messaging, both sides competing, for hearts, for minds, for influence, soft power, information warfare, strategic communication, modern battlefield, no bullets, no bodies, but casualties nonetheless, truth, accuracy, understanding, all suffering, all dying, all lost, in information fog, in narrative war, in propaganda battle, both sides fighting, both sides losing, public confusion winning. That's information age, that's social media reality, that's modern crisis, complicated by technology, amplified by connectivity, degraded by democratization of information, of analysis, of truth, everything contested, nothing certain, except submarine real, weapons present, threat exists, that's factual, that's verifiable, that's undeniable, everything else debatable, everything else questionable, everything else uncertain. Welcome to modernity. Welcome to information age. Welcome to truth's death and democracy's challenge and security's nightmare. Congressional hearings scheduled, Senate Armed Services Committee, House Intelligence Committee. Why is Chinese submarine so close? What is Navy doing? How do we respond? Questions demand answers. Classified briefings arranged, admirals testify, intelligence directors explain, operational security maintained, capabilities protected, but politicians informed. Somewhat, partially, sufficiently, for oversight, for funding, for support. Democracy requires national security permits, balance necessary, always difficult, sometimes impossible, but attempting anyway. Because democracy demands accountability, because military requires support, because both need funding, congressional appropriation, budget authorization, weapons procurement, everything costs, everything requires approval, everything needs advocates. Admirals testify, explain threat, request resources, politicians approve, usually, eventually, sufficiently, for next crisis, for future threat. for continuous competition with China, with Russia, with everyone, forever probably. Because great power competition never ends, because threats constantly evolve, because security eternally costs, money, always money, billions, eventually trillions, for weapons, for submarines, for deterrence, for security, for peace, expensive peace, fragile peace, uncertain peace, but peace nonetheless, better than war, better than invasion, better than conquest, better than submission. So spending, always spending, forever spending, on submarines, on weapons, on military, for deterrence, for security, for American way, expensive, very expensive, but worth it, probably, hopefully, necessarily. Technology matters enormously. American submarines quieter, sensors better, weapons superior, training excellent, experience deep, advantage substantial, but Chinese improving, rapidly, consistently, persistently, gap closing, margin narrowing, advantage shrinking. Today, American submarines dominant, tomorrow uncertain, year after questionable, decade hence unknown, because Chinese investing massively, strategically, effectively. Shipyards building, submarines launching, crews training, technology stealing, everything accelerating, catching up, maybe surpassing, eventually, possibly concerning. So America investing too. Virginia-class submarines, Columbia-class SSBNs, next-generation platforms, advanced weapons, better sensors, everything improving, both sides racing, both sides spending, both sides innovating. Arms race, naval competition, submarine warfare, silent service, deadly serious, civilization stake, both sides understanding, both sides committed, both sides persistent, until victory, until exhaustion, until bankruptcy, unknown, uncertain, but continuing, meanwhile, forever, probably. This is great power competition. This is nuclear age. This is submarine warfare. Silent, deadly, expensive, necessary, unfortunately. Days pass. Chinese submarine continues patrol, tracking continuous, surveillance persistent, intelligence collected, every day, every hour, every movement. Learning, always learning, understanding adversary, preparing for war, hoping never comes but ready if does. That's submarine force, that's strategic deterrence, that's national security, unglamorous, invisible, essential, absolutely essential, because deterrence prevents war, because submarines carry deterrent, because silent service protects civilization through threatening destruction, through promising Armageddon, through guaranteeing mutual death, insane but effective Cold War logic, nuclear age reality, extended indefinitely, applied universally, practiced constantly, by America, by Russia, by China, by everyone nuclear, forever probably. Until what? Until war? Until disarmament? Until extinction? Unknown, uncertain. But continuing meanwhile, submarines patrolling, weapons ready, deterrence maintaining, civilization persisting, through luck, through skill, through professional submariners, managing Armageddon, deterring apocalypse, preventing war, every day, every patrol, every crisis, successfully, so far, maybe forever, hopefully, prayerfully, desperately. Final status: Chinese ballistic missile submarine detected 200 miles off California coast. Type 094 Jin-class SSBN, 36 nuclear warheads aboard. Strategic patrol, first time this close to American mainland. U.S. Navy tracking continuously. Attack submarines shadowing. Patrol aircraft monitoring. Intelligence collecting. Deterrence maintaining. No immediate threat, but strategic concern. Chinese capability demonstrated. American cities within range. Nuclear weapons close. Uncomfortable reality, new normal. Great power competition. Pacific theater. Both sides deterring. Both sides threatening. Both sides hoping rationality prevails. Usually does, sometimes doesn't. Then everyone dies. But probably not today. Probably not this crisis. Probably continue forever. Submarines patrolling, weapons ready, deterrence working, civilization surviving, through threatening destruction, through promising Armageddon, through mutual assured destruction, insane logic, Cold War legacy, nuclear age reality, working so far, maybe forever, hopefully anyway, because alternative is war. Nuclear war, civilization ending, species threatening, existence questioning, nobody wants, everybody prepares, both sides ready, both sides deterred, both sides terrified of miscalculation, of accident, of war. So restraint continues, deterrence maintains, peace persists, fragile peace, expensive peace, terrifying peace, but peace nonetheless, better than alternative, always, necessarily, forever. The answer? B. Type 094 submarine carries 12 JL-3 ballistic missiles with 3 warheads each. 36 nuclear warheads total, each 300 kilotons, enough to destroy 36 cities, kill 50 million people, end American civilization, theoretically, hopefully never practically. That's deterrence, that's strategy, that's Cold War logic, extended, updated, applied to China, insane but effective, terrifying but necessary, unfortunately. Should America increase submarine production? Will Chinese patrols continue? Can nuclear war be prevented? Hit like if you want real-time strategic coverage. Subscribe to Navy Alert, where maritime news breaks first. Submarine warfare, nuclear deterrence, strategic patrols, Chinese threats, Pacific security, all covered, all analyzed, all reported. This is what we do. This is why we matter. This is Navy Alert.